Why did no one tell me that periodically little parts of Jesus come back from the dead? In the year 1226, in a quiet Portuguese village called Santarém, there was this woman who had just lost all hope in her marriage. Her husband was no longer even looking at her, and every day her heart just grew colder and more distant. So in desperation, she did what no one in town dared to do. She went to the very infamous local witch. So she covers her face in shame with a veil, and she starts walking to the house to where this woman lived. And as soon as she goes to knock on the door, she feels this presence immediately stand behind her and try to stop her from knocking on the door. But she knocks on the door anyway, and this old woman just answers the door, and before she can say anything, the witch tells her, "I know exactly why you're here. If you want your love back, you're going to steal from the church." Immediately, her eyes grew wide and this cold sensation just started to grow over her. She didn't know if she was hearing correctly, so she asked the witch again, "You want me to steal from the church?" To which the old woman simply smiled, she nodded and closed the door. The woman debated this decision for hours, but as soon as she got home and her husband was out somewhere else, maybe even with another woman, she knew exactly what she had to do. So she goes to sleep and she builds up the courage to go to mass the very next day. She lined up, she received communion, and she quietly walks back to her seat. Instead of swallowing the host, she just lifted this small veil that was hidden on her sleeve to her face like she's cleaning herself. But secretly, she spat out that consecrated host and carefully folds the veil and slips it back into her sleeve. Now, not long after, this woman, determined to get her love back, she leaves mass and runs back to the witch's house. But before she can get there, something would happen to this woman that immediately made her change her mind. Because halfway there, she begins to feel this incredible, just burning sensation coming from her left sleeve. The burning turns into this almost warm feeling dripping down her wrist and down her fingers, and all of a sudden, she sees down and she sees blood everywhere. Fearing that she was injured, she looked at her arm, and as soon as she did, she simply began to scream. Because from the veil that was hidden in her sleeve, this fleshy, bloody mass just started to grow on her veil. And she wasn't sure of it, but whatever was on it just very clearly looked like it was blood. So seeing this terrifying sight, she immediately repents, she runs home, she takes all of the clothes that were now covered in this fleshy stuff, and she puts them in a chest. A few hours later, her husband finally arrives to the house, and the house is completely silent other than the sound of whispers. Whispers that were coming from the bedroom. So he walks in, he sees his wife almost in this possessed state, just kneeling down in front of this chest that was glowing.